Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Let us chant one round of japa with Srila Prabhupada. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paśyati Deshatarine. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Ram. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Ram. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Ram. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Ram. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Ram. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Krishna Hare Hare Ram Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत् नष्टप्रायेष्व भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवत्युत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन्निति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय। श्रीमद् भगवद गीता एज इट इज की जय। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। समवेत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Welcome to today's Srimad Bhagavatam for all session. Let us recite Bhagavad Gita shloka. We are reciting from Srimad Bhagavad Gita as it is. Chapter 15, text 10. Shri Radhe Shravani Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Dandavat Pranam Mataji. Jai Srila Prabhupada. Text 10. Yes, Mataji.
उत्क्रामन्तं स्थितं वापि भुञ्जानं वा गुणान्वितं vimūḍhā nānupaśyanti paśyanti jñāna-cakṣuṣaḥ. Translation: The foolish cannot understand how a living entity can quit his body, nor can they understand what sort of body he enjoys under the spell of the modes of nature, but one whose eyes are trained in knowledge can see all this. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank you. Bhagavad Gita chapter 15 text 10. Utkrāmantaṁ sthitaṁ vāpi bhuñjānaṁ va guṇānvitam vimūḍhā nānupaśyanti paśyanti jñāna-cakṣuṣaḥ. The foolish cannot understand how a living entity can quit his body, nor can they understand how he enjoys this material body under the spell of the modes of nature. But one whose eyes are trained in knowledge can see all this. Priyanka Haripriya Mataji, you can recite.
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. Jai Shri Prabhupada.
Please accept my humble obeisances, Mataji. Jai Shri Prabhupada.
उत्क्रामन्तं स्थितं वापि भुञ्जानं वा गुणान्वितं vimūḍhā nānupaśyanti paśyanti jñāna-cakṣuṣaḥ. The foolish cannot understand how a living entity can quit his body, nor can they understand what sort of body he enjoys under the spell of the modes of nature. But one whose eyes are trained in knowledge can see all this.
Thank you, Mataji. I made a mistake in my translation. I'll say the translation again. The foolish cannot understand how a living entity can quit this material body, nor can they understand what sort of body he enjoys under the spell of the modes of nature. But one whose eyes are trained in knowledge can see all this. Okay. Rasapriya, you're going to recite?
उत्क्रामन्तं स्थितं वापि
Louder.
उत्क्रामन्तं स्थितं वापि पुंसानं वा गुणान्वितं विमूढा नानुपश्यन्ति पश्यन्ति ज्ञानचक्षुषः. Translation: The foolish cannot understand how a living entity can quit his body, nor can they understand what sort of body he enjoys under the spell of the modes of nature. But one whose eyes are trained in knowledge can see all this.
Saujanya Mataji, you can recite the verse.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam Sarvesh Shri Prabhupada, all glories to the assembled devotees.
Dandavat Pranam Mataji. All glories to Shri Prabhupada.
Utkrāmantaṁ sthitaṁ vāpi bhuñjānaṁ guṇānvitam vimūḍhā nānupaśyanti jñāna-cakṣuṣaḥ. The foolish cannot understand how a living entity can quit his body, nor can they understand what sort of body he enjoys under the spell of the modes of nature. But one whose eyes are trained in knowledge can see all this. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. So let's read Srimad Bhagavatam. Yesterday we read Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 2, Text 27. So the context of this verse is, okay, I told you this. Adivriksha means the original tree, and Ekayana means the support of this tree, which is the only one is what? The support of the tree is the material nature. Okay, so the previous verse, text 26, had said that was the first prayer of the demigods. They were saying that, my Lord, we are taking shelter of you for your protection. Why we are taking shelter of you? Because you are the only truth in you are the supreme truth, right? Satyam param satyavratam, you're true to your word, like this. You are satyam satyasya satyam, like that. So then the Lord may have questioned, then what about this material world? This is not true. Is this false? I am true, but the material world is coming from me. That means the material world is false. So then this verse is spoken where the tree is described, this material world compared to a tree, and its support is the material nature, and the description of the tree is given, that this tree produces two fruits, the fruits of happiness and distress, and it has three roots, goodness, passion, and ignorance, and the taste of the fruit of the fruit of happiness has four tastes. What are they? Actually, in the translation, the four tastes is given as dharma, artha, kama, moksha. In Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's commentary, the four tastes are given as the four varnas: Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. You can, okay, so Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, how? Because you taste according to your particular modes, isn't it? So Brahmana is in goodness, Kshatriya is in passion, like that. So you taste your, just like food is in the three modes. So you're tasting according to your particular varna. And then this taste is done through five senses, five knowledge acquiring senses: eyes, nose, tongue, ears, and skin. And under six circumstances: lamentation, illusion, hunger, thirst, and old age and death. Then also we read that this tree has, what else did we read? It has eight branches, earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence, and ego. It has 9 hollows: eyes, nose, ears, mouth, and rectum and genitals. 9 holes, or the 9 hollows. And then also it has 10 leaves, which are the 10 types of air. And then there are 2 birds sitting in this tree. One is the living entity and Paramatma. So then next, we'll read the next verse and then we'll discuss what happens after that. So the demigods have given a description of this material world. So the question was, this material world is this material world false? So the material world is described now. And also in the purport, Srila Prabhupada gave an elaborate purport, just showing us, look at the detail of the description of this material body. So scientifically and in such detail it is given. Srila Prabhupada simply pointed out the last 2 points, the individual soul and super soul, right? When you describe the body, The body, you cannot describe the body without taking into account the spirit soul, or what to speak of the super soul. The spirit soul, how the spirit soul can exist without the super soul? They don't have independence, right? But this knowledge you don't get anywhere else except in the Vedic scriptures. You don't get this knowledge about the two birds sitting in the tree, and how nicely, it is explained with the analogy of a tree. We all have experience of trees, right? We can understand, and it's so nicely given. Where will you find such uh, in-depth, perfect, scientific description of this material body? All other descriptions which we give materially, they're all on the gross level. They're completely insufficient and even misleading at times, right? So that's what we are supposed to see here in this verse. Just our appreciation of uh, the depth of information, knowledge that we get from the Vedic scriptures, and also the lightness of our modern education system. Next verse. Oh, one thing that I didn't say. This tree has 7 barks. It has 7 barks: a skin, blood, muscle, fat, bone, marrow, and semen. Yes. I think that's it. I covered everything. Okay. Next verse. So Aditi Lata Mataji had read, right, yesterday. We'll go to the next person. Rasapriya. त्वम् एक एवास्य सतः प्रसूतिस् त्वं सन्निधानं त्वमनुग्रहश्च त्वन्मायया संवृतचेतसस्त्वां पश्यन्ति नानानविपश्चितो ये. Yeah.
The efficient cause of this material world, manifested with its many varieties as the original tree, is you, O Lord. You are also the maintainer of this material world, and after annihilation, you are the one in whom everything is conserved. Those who are covered by your external energy cannot see you behind this manifestation, but theirs is not the vision of learned devotees.
Okay, thank you. And then we'll just continue reading the purport, and then I will explain. So next is Priyanka Haripriya Mataji. You can read the purport.
Yes, Mataji. Various demigods, beginning from the Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, and even Vishnu, are supposed to be the creator, maintainer, and annihilator of this material world. But actually, they are not. The fact is that everything is the Supreme Personality of Godhead manifested in varieties of energy. Ekam eva dvityam Brahma. There is no second existence. Those who are truly vipascitah, learned, are those who have reached the platform of understanding and observing the Supreme Personality of Godhead in any condition of life. Premanjana Charita Bhakti Vilochanena. Bhakti Vilochanena Santaha Sadaiva Hrideshu Vilokayanti. Brahma Samhita 5.38. Learned devotees accept even conditions of distress as representing the presence of Supreme Lord. When a devotee is in distress, he sees that the Lord has appeared as distress just to relieve or purify the devotee from the contamination of the material world. While when one is within this material world, one is in various conditions, and therefore a devotee sees a condition of distress as but another feature of the Lord. Tatte anukampam susamikshamanaha. Bhagavatam 10.14.8. A devotee therefore regards distress as a great favor of the Lord because he understands that he is being cleansed of contamination. Tesham aham samudhrata. Tesham aham samudharta mrityu samsara sagarat. Bhagavad Gita 12.7. The appearance of distress is a negative process intended to give the devotee relief of this material world, which is called mrityu sansara, or the constant repetition of birth and death. To save a surrendered soul from a repeated birth and death, the Lord purifies him of contamination by offering him a little distress. This cannot be understood by a non-devotee, but a devotee can see this because he is vipascitah or learned. A non-devotee, therefore, is perturbed in distress, but a devotee welcomes distress as another feature of the Lord. Sarvam Khalvam Idam Brahma. A devotee can actually see that there is only the Supreme Personality of Godhead and no second entity. Ekam Evadvityam, Evadvityam, there is only the Lord who presents himself in different energies.
Thank you, Mataji. Next, Saujanya Mataji.
Mataji, this is from persons or whatever.
Persons.
Persons who are not in real knowledge think that Brahma is the creator, Vishnu the maintainer, and Shiva the annihilator, and that the different demigods are intended to fulfill diverse purposes. Thus, they create diverse purposes and worship various demigods to have these purposes fulfilled. Kamai says, utkrāmantaṁ jñāna-cakṣuṣaḥ. A devotee, however, knows that these various demigods are but different parts of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and that these parts need not be worshipped. As the Lord says in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 9, 23 shloka, Yepya Epanya devata bhakta yajante shraddhayanvita tepi mam eva kaunteya yajanti avidhi purvakam. Whatever a man may sacrifice to other gods, whatever a man may sacrifice to other gods, O son of Kunti, is really meant for me alone, but it is offered without true understanding. There is no need to worship the demigods, for this is avidhi, not in order. Simply by surrendering oneself at the lotus feet of Krishna, one can completely discharge one's duties. There is no need to worship various deities or demigods. These various divinities are observed by the vimūḍhās, fools, who are bewildered by the three modes of material nature. Tribhur gunamaya bhave ebhi sarvam idam jagat. Such fools cannot understand that the real source of everything is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Mohitam nānupaśyanti mamebhya param avyayam. Not being distributed by the Lord's various features. Not being disturbed by the Lord's various features, one should concentrate upon and worship the Supreme Lord, Mamekam Sharanam Raja. This should be the guiding principle of one's life.
Thank you. Okay, so this verse is saying that the efficient cause of this material world, manifested with its many varieties as the original tree, is you. O Lord. So this tree, material world is this tree, right? Or the tree is the analogy for the material world. The efficient cause of this tree, so there are two causes for this material world from the first canto, right? We understand there is two causes. What are the two causes? There is upadana karanam and nimitta karanam. Upadana karanam is the ingredient cause. Nimitta karanam is the efficient cause, the material cause and the efficient cause. Okay? The efficient cause is who? The Lord is the efficient cause. The efficient cause of this material world manifested with, actually he is both the causes. He's the cause because even that is coming from him only. Everything is his energy. But still, it's like, for a pot, to make a pot, what do you need? To make a pot, you need clay, water, the wheel. Who else? The person, the potter, right? So there is the material cause, and then there is the efficient cause. So the Lord is the efficient cause. So anyway, so here the demigods are saying that okay, this is Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's commentary. The efficient cause of this material world manifested with its many varieties as the original tree is you. Well, this is Srila Prabhupada's translation. Oh Lord, you are also the maintainer of this material world. Okay, so you are the creator and then you are also the maintainer. And after annihilation, you are the one in whom everything is conserved. So the demigods are saying this. The material world, is the material world false, was the question by Lord Vishnu, right? The Lord, see the previous one here. Oh, I cannot hear. If I, who am endowed with body, senses and dharma, am Satya, then is the material world asatya? That was the Lord's question. So the demigod said, the world is true, but it is subject to destruction in time. It's not false, it is true, but it is temporary. Why temporary? It is subject to destruction. To show that, they said that it is vriksha. It's a tree. I told you vriksha means that which is cut down in due course of time. So this, when the Lord said, is this world false? No, it is not false. It is true, but it is temporary. It is subject to destruction in time. But you are not destroyed by time. So that is the difference. You are Satyam. This material world is also Satyam, but you are not subject to destruction, whereas the material world is subject to destruction in time. You are indestructible, right? So then, saying that, they recited the previous verse about the material tree. It's a tree, it's going to be cut down, right? Like that. So then, and of this tree you are the efficient cause. So now after the demigod said this, the previous verse, no, the material world is also true. The material world is also true, but it is subject to destruction in course of time. Then the Lord asked another question. What is the question? Okay. This tree arises from your energies. The previous verse, the tree. That whole tree is actually coming from, what did we say? What is the base for the tree? Prakriti. What is that Prakriti? The Lord's Bahiranga Shakti, right? Devi Hesha Gunamayi Mama Maya. It's my Maya, the Lord says. So therefore, the demigods are saying, it's not false. It is only temporary. But this tree arises from your energies, your Bahiranga Shakti. With this intention, the verse is spoken. You are the only creator of this material tree, which is real. So the answer to the previous question was, the tree is not false, it is real. And you are the only creator. And not only creator, you are the annihilator and you are the maintainer. That was the point. Okay. You are the creator, you are the maintainer, you are the annihilator. This verse is saying here. The efficient cause of this material world, manifested with its many varieties, is you. That means you are the creator, you are the maintainer, and you are the annihilator of this tree. You're seeing the connection? You are the, so is the tree false? No, it is true. Why it is true? Because it's coming from you. It's coming from you. And you are its creator, you are its maintainer, and you are its annihilator. But this tree is different from you in this way, that this tree is destroyed in course of time, but you are indestructible. In that way it is different. But actually this is also true, because it is coming from you, it's maintained by you, and it is destroyed by you. So then the Lord is asking another question. Okay, so the second part of the translation I didn't read yet. So then the Lord asked, oh Devas, it is said that Brahma, Vishnu and Shiva are the masters of this world. So why do you say I am the creator? Huh? You are saying, I am the creator, maintainer, and annihilator of this tree. But Brahma is the creator, right? You see, who are the guṇāvatars? Maintainer, creator, creator, maintainer, and annihilator. Lord Brahma, Lord Vishnu, and Lord Shiva. They are the creator, maintainer, and annihilator. Why you are saying, I am the creator? Why you are saying, I am the creator? So that is why in the translation, it is said, you are the efficient cause. You are the efficient cause. Okay, that means, okay. So why you are saying I am the creator? So in answer to that, the next statement of the demigod. So that's the next verse that will come, or the second part of that translation. What's the second part of the translation? You are the one in whom everything is conserved. Why we are calling you as the creator, maintainer, and annihilator? Because you are the one. You are the one in whom everything is conserved. Those who are covered by your external energy cannot see you behind this manifestation, but theirs is not the vision of learned devotees. Okay. Those whose minds are covered by your Maya, they see Brahma as the creator, Shiva as the annihilator, Vishnu as the creator. Right? Who sees like this? Lord Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva are the creator, maintainer, and annihilator. Those whose minds are covered by Maya, they see like that. And also they see that yes, it's not false that Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva are creator, maintainer, annihilator. But of course, Lord Vishnu is the Supreme Lord. But Brahma and Shiva especially, let's say Brahma. Those whose minds are covered, they see Lord Brahma as the independent creator. Those whose minds are not covered see only you and see Brahma and others as your expansions. So this is so nicely going along with what we are discussing yesterday. If you remember in Chaitanya Charitamrita class, we spent quite a bit of time. In fact, all the time was spent in understanding the vision of the learned and the vision of the ignorant. Right? Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya said to Gopinath Acharya, uh, or actually Gopinath Acharya said to Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But those who don't have this knowledge, those who are agya, they have a difficulty in accepting the conclusions of those who are learned. So those who are learned, they are able to see, they are able to understand. They are able to understand Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And when this is said to the ignorant are not able to accept it because they are not able to see it. So in that context, I explained to you from the first canto, third chapter about Virata Purusha, right? Those who hear, those who are Kumanisha. Kumanisha means who don't have bhakti or gyan, bhakti hina, jnana hina jantu. Such people, when they come in contact with the Lord in the form of his, because the Lord is absolute, his name, his form, his qualities, his pastimes are not different from him. In spite of coming in touch with the Lord, hearing his holy names, hearing his pastimes, they won't get any taste, they won't get any relish. Why? Because they don't have bhakti or jnana. So those who don't have bhakti or jnana, in spite of, so they won't understand, they won't see things. So similarly, and also that neophyte yogi, this whole thing started how? Because that neophyte yogi who's worshipping the Virata Purusha as Bhagavan. He's worshipping Virata Purusha. What is Virata Purusha made up of? Gross elements, right? Gross and subtle elements like earth, water, fire, air, ether, so on and so forth. Whatever is there in our body, same things in a universal level. That's the body of Virata Purusha. And this worshipper of Virata Purusha, he's worshipping the Virata Purusha as Bhagavan, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But what he is seeing is just the gross form. Is that the body of the Supreme Lord? No, that's just the external gross body. And he has a subtle body also, like we have a subtle body. He has a subtle body, mind, intelligence, ego, and so on. But he has, behind that is the Satchidananda Vigraha body. So that he's not seeing. He's only seeing the outer, the gross body. But he's worshipping that gross body as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and he's saying that I'm seeing. The Lord can be seen, right? In this way. When will he actually see the person behind this gross body, subtle body? The Brahma, when will he get that Brahma Darshanam? When will he actually see the transcendental body of the Supreme Personality of Godhead? When this Maya is removed, when this Maya moves away. Maya means this gross form and subtle form. When that is moved, right? And that will be moved how? Of course, first that has to be moved, but even after that Maya is moved, it's not like you can see. Yesterday also we had a nice discussion about this Brahman, right? During the class also Mataji, Aditi Lata Mataji asked, and later on Priyanka Haripriya Mataji also had a question about that. How is it possible that, Nainam Chindanti, the soul cannot be broken. Nainam Chindanti Shastrani, Achedyoyam, right? You cannot cut this spirit soul. If you cannot cut, then the science is the what do you say? If you cannot cut, then the Siddhanta is that which cannot be cut cannot be joined also. That which cannot be cut cannot be joined also. So then, if the soul cannot be cut, how the soul is merging? The soul is not merging. That's the point. Okay? The soul does not merge. So when you say it merges into Brahman or it merges into Bhagavan also, it happens. It doesn't mean that it is going and becoming, like, like one. No, eternally it is an individual soul only. It will stay there. How? In this world you can see, yesterday I gave you the example of a green bird going into a green tree. Another example, it's always a bird. It's not like when it goes into a green tree with green leaves, it doesn't mean that it has become the tree now. No, it is still a bird. But from outside you cannot tell where the bird is because it's all green. Or you may say, well, but this is a bird and that is a tree. How you can, if you want water, a drop of water, when it goes into the ocean, you cannot tell where that water is. But that doesn't mean that drop is not there. That drop is still there. The drop is drop, but it is there in the ocean, like that. I mean, again, after that elaborate explanation yesterday after class that we discussed, Mataji, Aditi Lata Mataji. So that drop, now you cannot calculate it in material terms. You add one drop, then the quantity has increased. That doesn't happen in the spiritual sense, right? Even when you go there, it's not, first of all, it's not merging. Remember that it is not merging. Just like the example that you gave, that eternal living entity is coming, and someone from this world, material world, is also there in the same body. It's not that they're merging, but they're there together. But the only difference is here the desires, like all the points that we discussed, if you bring them all together, you will understand, right? So the desire is also important. The living entity, what he's desiring is also important. The living entity's desire here is he wants to become one with the Lord. That is his desire. So therefore, what is his practice? What is his sadhana in jnana? Aikya Gyan means what? He stops seeing himself. He won't even see himself. That is his practice. He is working hard. He is practicing that sadhana to just not see himself, to just remove his identity. That is his practice. That doesn't mean he's not existing, but he won't see himself because he wants it like that. He wants it like that. So therefore, when he goes into Brahman, he's there, but he won't see himself. He will only see Brahman, and that's his existence in Brahman. Like that, they just stay there in Brahman. Okay. So anyway, so this yogi is seeing this Virata, the gross form of the Lord. Okay, and for him, when will he actually see the Supreme Personality of Godhead? He will only see, there has to be that bhakti element. When the Lord Vaisharadi Matihi, it is said. Vaisharada means the Lord. Sharada means what? Expert, right? Vaisharada means the Lord who is expert in benefiting his devotees. The Lord who is expert in benefiting his devotees is Vaisharada. That Lord's mati means what? Man ho jana, right? Now you make up your mind. So that Lord makes up his mind. What does he make up his mind? Mam pashyatu. Let this person see me. Like that. So that is why always the Lord's will is there. You cannot force yourself and see the Lord. It's not possible. By my practice, that is required. Your endeavor is first part. But by your endeavor, when the Lord decides, okay, he may see me, that's when we will see him. So there also, this yogi is seeing the gross form of the Lord, and then the subtle form, all gross and subtle forms, when they move out by the practice of this yoga that he is doing, then after that, when the Lord actually makes up his mind, all right, let him see me, that's when he will see. And what is this seeing? He will see the six opulences of the Lord. He will realize that the Lord's birth is transcendental, his activities are transcendental. He will appreciate everything about the Lord, and he will see the difference, how the Lord's activities are transcendental, whereas the activities of the living entity in this world are not transcendental, they are material, they are not eternal. He'll see the difference, and he will see the Lord as completely transcendental, his birth, his activities. Janma karma chame divyam evam yo veti tattvataha tyaktva deham punarjanma naiti mameti sojana. He's seeing the Lord means liberation ho gaya, right? He's liberated already. So he will see that, but when will he see the Lord? When the Lord will decide, okay, let this person see me. Now, this is the position of someone who has followed the path and who has received the Lord's mercy by following that path, right? Now, somebody who has not followed this path, what is his position? Even though he comes in touch with the Lord in the form of his name, his form, he will not appreciate it. Kala akshar bhais barabar, it is said. For someone who is knowledgeable, when he sees the words on the paper, he will actually make out. He will read the words, and right, he will say, oh, let's say you see the dehinosmin yatha dehe kaumaram yavanam jara. If you understand, then for you it means so much, right? But someone who's completely illiterate, he doesn't know reading and writing. When he sees those words on the paper, what does it mean? It looks like buffaloes to him, because he's used to, herding buffaloes. Oh, black and black. That's all he can make out. He won't understand the depth of what is there in those words. You understand? So this is the difference between one who is learned and one who is not learned. Even the one who is not learned, in spite of coming in touch with the object, he cannot understand anything. So from all three, from what we are reading here in the 10th canto, well, one second. Yeah. So here, the Lord said, what did the Lord say? You are saying that I am the creator, but Brahma, Vishnu, and Maheshwar, they are the creator, maintainer, and annihilator. So then the demigods are saying that only those whose minds are covered with ignorance, those who don't have the real knowledge, they will see that Lord Brahma is the independent creator. But one who has knowledge, he can see that you are the original creator. Everyone else is secondary. You are the first, right? Everything else is coming from you. This is the vision of those who have knowledge. But that vision, that Lord, and so that point, now you'll see how Srila Prabhupada is explaining in the purport. So the verse is, Tvam eka ekasya satah prasutis, Tvam eka ekasya, right? One, Tvam eka ekasya, that means you are one without a second, you are everything. Eka evasya. Satah prasutis, Tvam sannidhanam, Tvam anugrahascha. So, yeah, Tvam sannidhanam Prasuti means the creation, right? Original source. Then Sannidhanam means maintenance, conservation. And Sannidhanam, the conservation of all such energy when everything is annihilated. Anugraha, and the maintainer. Okay, Anugraha is maintainer, Sannidhanam is the one that holds when everything is annihilated. Tvam mayaya samvrita chetasastvam. By your illusory external energy, samvrita chetasaha, those whose intelligence is covered by such illusory energy, paśyanti nana na vipascitoye. So they see many varieties, right? They see so many demigods, this is the cause, that is cause, so many causes. And they don't see what the vipascitahs see. The learned scholars, what they are seeing, they don't see that, right? And they don't see who the learned scholars are. The efficient cause of this material world manifested with its many varieties as the original tree is you. The efficient cause is you, O Lord. You are also the maintainer of this material world. Annihilation. After annihilation, you are the one in whom everything is conserved. Those who are covered by your external energy cannot see you behind this manifestation. But theirs is not the vision of learned devotees, right? What they see is not what the learned people see. And now with that background, we'll go over the purport once again. Various demigods, even Vishnu, Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, and even Vishnu, we see them as creator, maintainer, annihilator, but they are actually not the original, right? So you know how the creation started. So you'll say from Karanodakashaya Vishnu, he desired, he glanced. And then Garbhodakashaya Vishnu. Then Garbhodakashaya Vishnu is the seed from whom all incarnations come. Lord Brahma comes, then from Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, and then Lord Vishnu, Kshirodakashaya Vishnu. From Kshirodakashaya Vishnu, all the other incarnations are coming. So Garbhodakashaya Vishnu is the seed. So you see, Kshirodakashaya Vishnu, whom we are saying is the maintainer, he is also coming from previous, right? Garbhodakashaya Vishnu. And Garbhodakashaya Vishnu from Karanodakashaya Vishnu. Like this, if you go back, you will see originally it is Krishna. It is Krishna. So therefore, the demigods are saying, the fact is that everything is the Supreme Personality of Godhead manifested in varieties of energy. Ekam eva dvitiyam Brahma. That means you are only one. Everything coming is coming from you. You are not two. There's no second existence. You are the original. So all the others, Lord Brahma, Lord Vishnu, Lord Shiva, and what to speak of all the other demigods who are controllers, they're all actually coming from you. Who sees this? Only those who are truly learned, who have reached the platform of understanding and observing the Supreme Personality of Godhead in any condition of life. And Srila Prabhupada now elaborates on this point so beautifully. One who has reached the platform of observing the Supreme Lord in any condition of life. Okay? You are only one, the demigods are saying, right? You are the only one. That if one is able to see under any circumstance of life, he is actually a learned person. What is the vision of a learned person? A learned person is seeing only the Supreme Lord. He's not seeing any other cause. Whatever is happening in life, wherever he is, he sees the only cause, whether it is happiness, distress, misery, he only sees the cause. So then, will you have any complaints about anything or anyone? And if I'm actually seeing differently, so many things, I'm seeing so many things, that means, no, I'm not learned yet. I'm not learned yet. Again, that example, they see the cause, for creation is Brahma. The cause for annihilation is Shiva. The cause for maintenance is Lord Vishnu. Right? But what is the vision of a learned person? Actually, the cause of all causes is Ishvara Parama Krishnaha Satchidananda Vigraha Anadiradir Govinda Sarva Karana Karanam. He is the cause of all causes. He is the only cause, the ultimate cause, the efficient cause. Whose vision is this? This is the vision of a learned person. And therefore, even in day-to-day dealings, what does he see? He only sees the Supreme Lord. He sees the Lord's hand behind everything. That is the vision of a learned person. Then see how beautifully Srila Prabhupada is expanding further on that point. One who sees the Lord under all circumstances. He is a learned person, right? Those who have reached the platform of understanding and observing the Supreme Personality of Godhead in any condition of life. You reach the platform. So it's not like, now I understood this, so now I'll start seeing the Lord. No. You have to actually go through the exercise, the sadhana, the practice. And by that, you will actually come to that platform of understanding and observing the Supreme Personality of Godhead in any condition of life. How you'll come to that platform? Or let's say, what is that condition of platform, right? What is the condition of the person who's on that platform? What is the condition of the person who's on that platform? When will he be able to see the Lord under all circumstances? Premanjanachurita bhakti vilochanena. Bhakti vilochanena. When your eyes are anointed with the ointment of love, with the kajal, right? You put kajal in your eyes. This kajal is what? What kajal should you put? Of love of Godhead. When your eyes are anointed with the ointment of love of Godhead, then wherever you see, whatever you see, you'll be seeing only the Supreme Lord. Santah sadaiva hridayeshu vilokayanti. And such devotees whose eyes are always, anointed with the ointment of love, they're always seeing the Supreme Lord within their heart. And wherever they see, in all circumstances, they see the only cause is the Supreme Lord. And then when it hurts, when you go through difficulties, then you see the Lord as the cause and you become angry with him. Do you? See what Srila Prabhupada says. Learned devotees accept even conditions of distress as representing the presence of the Supreme Lord. Because the Lord is Anandamaya, right? Anandamaya Purusha. It's not possible that if you're seeing the Lord, you'll be seeing distress. You won't see, because he's full of bliss. Okay? So if you're seeing the Lord everywhere, and if you're seeing even the distressful condition as the Lord, is there any possibility of your being resentful of that circumstance, of that distress? You're seeing that distress as the Lord, and the Lord is Ananda Swarupa, Anandamaya Purusha, right? Ananda Purusha. Like you have, Annamaya, Pranamaya, Manomaya, Vijnanamaya, and Anandamaya. In Taittiriya Upanishad, we see this. Of Brahman. What is the description of this Parabrahma? So the Brahma is described as a bird, right? And this bird is Anandamaya Purusha. The tail of this bird is Brahman, Nirvishesh Nirakar Brahman. So which is superior, the tail or the whole bird is superior? The whole bird, right? So there it is established how Brahman Pratishtaham. Brahman is actually supported by the personality of Godhead. So anyway, so I'm saying here the Lord is Anandamaya Purusha. He's full of bliss. And if you are facing a distressful condition, and if you're able to see everything as the Supreme Lord, and even that distressful condition you're seeing as the Supreme Lord, who is nothing but Anandamaya Purusha, or he is, Rasovai Saha. He's full of rasa, full of taste, full of bliss. So your distressful condition also you're seeing as Krishna. How can you ever be resentful of that condition? How can you be angry? How can you complain about it? Whose vision is this? Remember, this is the vision of this Vipascitah, the learned person. That is why for the learned person there is no material world. He doesn't see, even it doesn't mean difficulties don't come to him, but even the difficulties that come to him, he sees them as Krishna. He embraces them as Krishna. Learned devotees accept even conditions of distress as representing the presence of the Supreme Lord, then how to see this? How is it? How this distress can be the Supreme Lord? Why I am getting this distress? When a devotee is in distress, he sees that the Lord has appeared as distress just to relieve or purify the devotee from the contamination of the material world. See, what is this? A devotee is always, what is the more a devotee advances in Krishna consciousness, you will see from their writings, songs of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Srila Narottam Das Thakur, what do you see in their songs? Do they say, now I'm in ecstasy, now I'm in the spiritual world, now I have no sufferings? Do you see like that? What do you see in their prayers? The more a devotee is advanced, the more he sees that I'm actually, this is the nature of a pure devotee. I'm completely, a materialistic person, right? I, I become happy when I see others are miserable. I am so fallen. I don't have any bhakti like this. That is the position. So when distresses come, what do they think? Oh, the Lord is so merciful. He's giving me this distress because uh, by this distress, he wants to purify the contaminations in my heart. This is actually the science. When we commit offenses, right, in bhakti, when we commit offenses, or not when we commit offenses, it's not that now I'm committing offenses, therefore I'm suffering. We have our bank balance, right? We have committed enough offenses in the past also. They are there already. We are carrying it, right? We are carrying it, those offenses. And what to speak of the ones that we do more. But when the offenses are too many, these offenses uh, don't let us to, even though we are chanting, even though we are practicing devotional service, the offenses will not allow us to relish. They block my vision. They cannot block bhakti. Example is like the cloud. The sun is like bhakti. I am like the offender, chanting also. So my offenses are like these clouds in the sky. The clouds can block my vision. The clouds cannot block the sun. Clouds can block my vision, isn't it? Like that, these offenses will block, even though I'm chanting Hare Krishna, I will not be able to access the sweetness of bhakti, the taste of bhakti. I will not be able to access. Then what should be done? So the offenses will not be removed by punishment. Nevertheless, when there is punishment, when you get suffering, what happens is, because of that pain, right, you get severe suffering, bad health, or so many different, suffering, punishment. When you get, as a result of that suffering, the intensity of the offense will be reduced. The intensity of the offense is reduced. By that, or you can say the density of the cloud is reduced, maybe, right? The intensity of the offense is reduced. Then you'll get some glimpse, right? So because the intensity is reduced, now you are able to once again, practice bhajan, right, properly. But when the offenses are very severe, you're not even able to do your bhajan properly. So now you can start, and by your bhajan, by your chanting sincerely with a regretful heart, then the offenses are removed. The point is, suffering is essential. Punishment and suffering is essential for those who are very offensive, for their own benefit. If you don't get that punishment and suffering, then your heart will not become softer, right? You won't even take shelter of bhakti. The more offensive a person is, the more the person is going far, far away and still thinking, I'm a devotee, nothing wrong with me. The 5 results, consequences of offenses is kutilata. Kutilata means hypocrisy. Then second one is ashraddha. You lose shraddha in bhakti. bhakti nishta chavaka vastvantara abhiniveshaha. That means you get attachment to material things once again. Then shaitilyam means your bhakti will become very, like there's no rus in that. It's like it's falling apart. Kisi tarah se you're just pulling it like that. There's no taste, right? And then the last one is bhakti ahankara. Although all this is happening, I don't have any taste in bhakti. I don't have any shraddha. I'm attached to so many material things. I'm such a hypocrite, a hypocrite. In spite of all this, I think that I'm such a nice devotee. I did so many wonderful things. I have accomplished so many things. Ahankara. All these are consequences of what? Severe offenses. So when someone is like this, if you're seeing that there is no repentance in the heart, if there is no repentance in the heart, means the offenses are very, very severe. So getting a taste of your chanting and everything is far. So it is good to have to when you get punished, you should see that it is actually a mercy coming from Krishna in any way. Whether so many punishments we get, right? Suffering. So it's actually Krishna's mercy. Who is able to see this? A vipascitah is able to see this. But someone who is not learned, he won't be able to see this. He'll start complaining. Why? Again, offenses are severe. He won't see. But one who is learned, he sees that even the difficulties that are coming, this is also Krishna's mercy, because through these difficulties he's helping me to overcome my offenses, so that I can once again, he's bringing me closer to him through these offenses. So therefore, when something is good, everything is happening nicely, of course Krishna is so merciful. This is all Krishna's mercy. I am not the doer. And when things are going bad, Krishna is so merciful. He is experiencing Krishna under all circumstances. How wonderful, isn't it? This is a devotee, vipascitah. So he sees that the Lord has appeared as distress just to relieve or purify the devotee from the contamination of the material world. While one is within this material world, one is in various conditions. And therefore, devotee sees a condition of distress as but another feature of Lord. Not that he sees only a distress. Everything, whatever, wherever he goes, whatever he sees Krishna, he sees the Supreme Lord there. Who? One who is learned or one who is a devotee. So, how he is seeing this distress? Lord Brahma says, Tatte-nukampam susamikshamanaha. Right? This is because of my own past sinful activities that, I was supposed to suffer much more. The Lord is, out of his great favor, he's only giving me a token of what I'm supposed to suffer. A devotee therefore regards distress as a great favor of the Lord, because he understands that he is being cleansed of contamination. So if I'm able to see like this, right, when I'm insulted, when I am misunderstood, when I am corrected, or what to speak of when I am blasphemed, when I am, when there is backbiting, so many things. If I'm able to see that also as the Lord's arrangement, then I can understand that I'm on the right track, right? I'm actually maybe. But on the contrary, if I'm seeing this as, oh, this person's fault, that person's fault, this person is doing that, that person is doing that, that means I'm not on the right track, right? I'm not a learned person, or I'm still in ignorance. Tesham aham samudharta mrityu samsara sagarat. The appearance of distress is a negative process intended to give the devotee relief from this material world. Right? Of course, we are here, what we are seeing is, what is the consciousness of a devotee, a real devotee. That's what we are seeing. What is the consciousness of a real devotee? I mean, how far uh, I have to go to reach that, right? So much is there. That's the thing here. So the appearance of distress is, this is a fact. The appearance of distress is a negative process. Why negative process? Because it gives you pain, right? But that is required. Just like when you get a boil, the pus has to be removed, and that will actually eventually relieve you from that pain. But when that is being removed, it is excruciating pain. But still, that has to be done. A doctor will give you that pain so that you'll be free from that pain altogether. So the appearance of distress is a negative process intended to give the devotee relief from this material world, which is called mrityu samsara, or the constant repetition of birth and death. To save a surrendered soul from repeated birth and death, the Lord, see, what is the bigger pain? Repeated birth and death is the real suffering. To save from that suffering, the Lord purifies him of contamination by offering him a little distress. That's why tattenu-kampa susamikṣamānaha bhuñjāna evatma kritam vipākam. Right? I was supposed to suffer much, much more. Like I'll be birth after birth. I will be in the cycle of birth and death. But to save me from that eternal suffering, the Lord is giving little bit. How kind is the Lord? Like that, the devotee thinks. So the Lord purifies him of contamination by offering him a little distress. This cannot be understood by a non-devotee. But what is the important point here? A non-devotee won't understand this. He won't understand this. Who understands this? Only a devotee can understand this. And when you say this to a non-devotee, they won't accept it. That's the point. This cannot be understood by a non-devotee, but a devotee can see this because he is vipascitah or learned. A non-devotee therefore is perturbed in distress, but a devotee welcomes distress as another feature of the Lord. Right? This is also a feature of the Lord. He'll accept. Come, Krishna. Like that. A non-devotee therefore is perturbed in distress, but a devotee welcomes distress as another feature of the Lord. Sarvam khalvidam Brahma. Everything is Krishna. Everything is Brahma. A devotee can actually see that there is only the Supreme Personality of Godhead and no second entity. Ekam evadvitiyam. He's the only one and everything. He's one person who's expanding into so many. There is only the Lord who presents himself in different energies. Like that. So that is the vision of, okay, I'll just finish this. Then persons who are not in real knowledge, now what is their vision? They think Brahma is the creator, Vishnu is the maintainer, Shiva is the annihilator, and then they will do worship of different demigods. Oh, Lord Brahma is the creator. When you worship Lord Brahma, you can get this. Okay, when you worship Lord Shiva, you can get this. They'll worship. Who are they? These are people who are not learned, who are not devotees. They are not in real knowledge. Right? The demigods are intended to fulfill diverse purposes. Why the demigods are there? According to them. The demigods are there to fulfill my purposes. So many purposes I have. Thus they create diverse purposes and worship various demigods to have these purposes fulfilled. They will create diverse purposes. Right? That's why Srila Prabhupada said simple living, high thinking. Simple living means simplify. You don't need so much and so many. Simplify. That is devotee. Right? But we say, no, this has to be there, that has to be there, this, so many things. Jab tak we don't have all these things, until then, I cannot do devotional service. Or I cannot live, forget devotional service. I cannot live unless I have all these things. Keep expanding the empire. So they create so many purposes, and then for that purpose, now how to acquire them? Worship so many demigods in various ways, so many different types of karmakanda, to have their purposes fulfilled. Kamais taistair hritagyana prapadyantenya devata. A devotee, however, knows that these various demigods are parts and parcels of the Supreme Lord. So there is no need to worship the parts. You water the root, the whole tree is nourished. You don't have to go and water each and every part of the tree. Yepyanya devata bhakta yajante shraddhayanvitaha tepi mameva kaunteya. Those who are worshipping these demigods, they are worshipping me only. But yajanti avidhi purvakam. They are not doing it properly. This is the wrong way of worshipping me. They are worshipping me because they are my limbs. But this is the wrong way. It's just like you want nice fruits. So you go and pour water on the fruits, little small fruits, and you'll think now the fruits will become nice and big. No, that's the wrong way of nourishing the tree. You have to go and pour water on the root. The fruits will become big. Whatever a man may sacrifice to other gods, O son of Kunti, is really meant for me alone, but it is offered without true understanding. There is no need to worship the demigods, for this is avidhi. It is not the proper vidhi, not the proper way. Simply by surrendering oneself at the lotus feet of Krishna, one can completely discharge one's duties. This is called Shraddha. We are waiting when we will get this Shraddha. If I simply surrender myself at the lotus feet of Krishna, I have done all my duties to my forefathers, to my countrymen, to my family, to all the demigods, to brahmanas. Everything is done if I simply surrender at the lotus feet of Krishna. This is called Dridha Shraddha. If I simply surrender myself at the lotus feet of Krishna, then I complete the discharge of all my duties. There is no need to worship various deities or demigods. These various divinities are observed by mudhas, vimūḍhā, nānupaśyanti. Isn't that what we also, my God, it's so nice. Chaitanya Charitamrita, Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, and in Srimad Bhagavatam also, I'm parallelly reading the 3rd chapter of 1st canto and now the 10th canto. All four, the same point is being said. What is the verse we are memorizing in Bhagavad Gita? Vimūḍhā nānupaśyanti, paśyanti jñāna-cakṣuṣaḥ. Vimūḍhā, right? Vimūḍhā nānupaśyanti. Those who are not in knowledge, the ignorant, they don't see. Paśyanti jñāna-cakṣuṣaḥ. But those who have the eyes of knowledge, they are able to see. Right? And I told you about the yogi who is looking at Virat Purusha. Same thing there also it is said. Kumanisha. Kumanisha means who doesn't have bhakti, who doesn't have jnana. He's like a jantu. He cannot relish, he cannot understand. Yes, with all of us, the Lord reciprocating. So, that, okay? Then in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Gopinath Acharya is saying that you are not able to see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, right? I mean, he didn't say like that. He said he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but those who are not learned, they cannot see. What the learned are seeing, the learned cannot, not learned, they cannot accept, right? And now here we are seeing same thing in this verse, 28th verse, that the demigods are saying to Lord Krishna that those who are not learned, their vision is they see that so many, this is the cause, that is the cause. For the Lord Brahma is the creator, Lord Shiva is the annihilator, Lord Vishnu is the maintainer. But those who are learned, their vision is the Supreme Lord is the cause of all causes. Everyone else is actually a limb. The various divinities are observed by the mudhas, fools, who are bewildered by the three modes of material nature. Tribhir gunamayir bhavair ebhi sarvam idam jagat. Such fools cannot understand that the real source of everything is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Mohitam nabhi janati mamebhya paramavyam. Mohitam, they are illusioned, so they cannot see, right? Mamebhya paramavyam. So that he is the source of everything. Sarva karana karanam. Ishvara Parama Krishna Sachidananda Vigraha Anadiradir Govinda Sarva Karana Karanam. He is the root cause, he is the original cause. But the fools are not able to see this. Not being disturbed by the Lord's various features, one should concentrate upon the worship of the Supreme Lord. Mamekam Sharanam Vraja. Sarva Dharman Parityajya Mamekam Sharanam Vraja. This should be the guiding principle of one's life. Srila Prabhupada is saying. So what is the lesson? I'll tell you the lesson that I learned from all this. From this exercise that we've been doing in the past couple of days, the lesson that I learned is that even sometimes things may not be clear. Don't give up. Just continue with your sadhana, the practice, and by the Lord's mercy, things will be revealed in due course of time. And sometimes very quickly, like today, and sometimes maybe a few days. But for the devotee like Lord Brahma, remember Lord Brahma? At the beginning of creation, he heard tapa, 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 but he didn't see anyone. Did he see someone? He didn't know who's saying, but he took the message. I'm not seeing, so how I can accept? No, he just took that instruction with faith in that. He carried out his duty, and soon everything was revealed to him, right? So it's not that after everything is revealed to him, then revealed to me, then I will do it. may not happen like that, or it won't happen like that, because I don't have the capacity, I don't have the instruments. I don't have the instruments to see everything now. But the path is there. You hold on to the path. What is that path? You have to have Shraddha, the faith. With that faith, you continue. And we have, what is our tool? Our tool and our goal is the same, Harinam, right? With bhakti, hearing and chanting. Just hold on to that, and with faith continue reading, hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita. And so many things are not known to us. They're all mysteries. They will be revealed, but they cannot be revealed by the intellect. It's not that with my intelligence, because I'm so sharp, I will understand everything. No, that will be revealed to us when the Lord reveals it to us. But meanwhile, with faith, we have to continue. There's nothing wrong. When we don't understand, we will inquire. I also inquire. Like yesterday, when both of you asked me at different times questions, so I went and inquired from my teacher. I said, this is how it is. And it sounded like the same thing what I said. It's the same answer, right? But at some point, that mercy is required. When the mercy comes, then things are revealed. Then we will understand. And mercy cannot be demanded. It's not that now you give me mercy. Mercy is coming from higher authorities, right? When it comes, then things are revealed. And then until then, we have to wait and we have to continue. So that's my realization from this exercise. Just seeing how everything, the same point is coming from different angles. I'm actually quite amazed the way it all unfolded. But anyway, it's 8 o'clock already, but I will read Bhagavad Gita today and Lilamrita. It's been 2-3 days we didn't do. I'll quickly read. I mean, you will read. We'll take turns reading. So tomorrow's is text 29. Srimad Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter 2, text 46. We completed 45 yesterday. Traigunya Vishaya Veda. Yeah. Again, yesterday also, if you remember, what was the subject matter? I wrote in the description box. Yesterday's topic in Bhagavatam, when we were reading about that tree, the material tree, the topic was material scientists, or the material way of description of this tree is incomplete. It is insufficient. But the Vedic description is so thorough, isn't it? That was the subject. And then we read Bhagavad Gita, Traigunya Vishaya Veda Nistraigunya Bhavarjuna. There what is Krishna saying? Transcend the three modes of material nature. The Vedas are dealing with, there also the same point is coming. The Vedic knowledge is thorough. What is the conclusion of the Vedas? That you have to come to the point of transcendence. Don't get stuck in the material realm. That knowledge also you get from the Vedas only, right? So now next, text 246. Please repeat. Yavanartha udapane sarvataha samplutodake tavan sarveshu vedeshu brahmanasya vijānataha. Okay. So who read now? Saujanya Mataji, you started, huh? I'm forgetting. Who read?
I read the starting first paragraph of the purport.
Yeah,
You read.
and I read the next last, until last I read Mataji.
Okay, so Sri Radhe Shravani Mataji, you can read the translation.
Yes, ma'am. All purposes served by a small well can at once be served by great reservoir of water. Similarly, all the purposes of the Vedas can be served to one who knows the purpose behind them.
Yes. So the previous verse said, Traigunya Vishaya Veda Nistraigunya Bhavarjuna. Right? The Vedas are dealing mainly with the subject of the three modes of material nature. O Arjun, you transcend these three modes. Become free from all dualities. Be established in the self. Right? So Vedas talk about so many subject matters. There is Karma Kanda, Jnana Kanda, Upasana Kanda. But what is the purpose of the Vedas? Where are the Vedas leading us to? What is the purpose of the Vedas? The purpose of the Vedas is Vedanta. Vedanta means, what is the essence of the Vedas? Why so many subjects are said? Where are they leading us to? That Vedanta is given in the Upanishads. Upanishads and Vedanta is the same. So Upanishads, what is the subject of Upanishads? So in Vedas you will talk about mainly, the three modes of material nature, different types of karma kanda, jnana kanda, upasana kanda. All this is talked about in the Vedas. But when you go to Vedanta, the Upanishads, what are they talking? They are also part of Vedas only, right? In Vedas you have Samhitas, Aranyakas, Upanishads, and the Brahmanas. Okay, the four sections in the Vedas. So the Upanishads are talking about what? About Brahman, about the absolute truth. So the goal of the Vedas is to bring us to the absolute truth. Now, this absolute truth is also realized in Brahman, Paramatma, Bhagavan. And in Bhagavan also, ultimate is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna in Vrindavan. So the goal of the Vedas is to bring us to Krishna. Vedaishcha sarvair ahameva vedya. So Krishna is saying to Arjun, Vedas talk, yamimam pushpitam vacham pravadantya vipascitah. The Vedas talk about so many, fruitive activities and then the procedures, karma kanda activities in order to get results. Don't get carried away by the flowery language of the Vedas. Why? If you become carried away like that, भोगैश्वर्य प्रसक्तानां तया पहृत चेतसां व्यवसायात्मिका बुद्धि समाधौ न विधीयते. So the one who is attracted and bewildered by the results, material results offered in the Vedas, if one becomes attracted to these things, he will not get determination in devotional service. Right? Traigunya Vishaya Veda Nistraigunya Bhavarjuna. There are Vedas are mainly dealing with these three modes of material nature, but you don't get carried away by that. Right? Where should you come? यावान अर्थ उदपाने सर्वतः संप्लुतोदके तावान सर्वेषु वेदेषु ब्राह्मणस्य विजानतः. That means one who knows the purpose behind the Vedas, for him all other results that you can get by practicing various things in Vedas, it's available to him. You don't have to separately try for each of these things separately. What is the purpose of the Vedas? To bring us to bhakti, to bring us to Krishna. That is the purpose of Vedas. But in Vedas, you'll see so many different things spoken, right? And they go to, just like you go to a mall or a shopping, supermarket. You'll go to each section. You want a Walmart. You go to the clothes section, you go to the vegetable section, right? Different pots, whatever. You go and get whatever you want. Like that, people go to the Vedas and they take whatever they want. I want a son. I want to become a king. I want good health. I want to go to Swarga. I want liberation. So many things. They go to Vedas. But what is Vedanta? What is Vedanta? Vedanta is ultimately to come to the Supreme Lord. So, if you actually understand the goal of the Vedas, and if you try for the goal of the Vedas, all these other things are available to you. It's available. Like if you get $100, you already have $1, you have $10, $50, everything is there in that. So that is the point. Yavan artha udapane sarvatah samplutodake. Tavan sarveshu vedeshu brahmanasya vijanatah. Okay, so translation purport. Achyut Priya Mataji is here. Aditilata Mataji. Arunita. You're able to read? We are running out of time. Okay. Sonia Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, please
Yes,
accept
Mataji.
my Namaste. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Mataji. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Mataji, purport?
Purport, yeah.
The rituals and sacrifices mentioned in the Karmakanda division of the Vedic literature are meant to encourage gradual development of self-realization. And the purpose of self-realization is clearly stated in the 15th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, 1550. The purpose of studying the Veda is to know the Lord Krishna, the primeval cause of everything. So, self-realization means understanding Krishna and one's eternal relationship with him. The relationship of the living entity with Krishna is also mentioned in 15th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, 15:7. The living entity are part and parcel of Krishna. Therefore, Revival of Krishna consciousness by the individual living entity is the highest perfectional stage of Vedic knowledge. This is confirmed in Srimad Bhagavatam 3:33-7 as follows.
Okay, Mataji, thank you. Next, Usha Mataji. I'll read the Sanskrit. Aho bata pachoto aho bata pachoto gariyan yajjihvagre vartate namatubhyam te pustapaste juhu sasnurarya brahmanu churnama grinanti yete.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. John was pronounced all glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to the assembled devotees.
Dandavat Pranam Mataji. Jai Shri Prabhupada.
O my Lord, a person who is chanting your holy name, although born of a low family, like that of a Chandala, a dog eater, is situated on the highest platform of self-realization. Such a person must have performed all kinds of penances and sacrifices according to Vedic rituals and studied the Vedic literatures many, many times after taking his bath in all the holy places of pilgrimage. Such a person is considered to be the best of the Aryan family.
Mataji,
So,
is Veda there?
may the not hear Mataji, she's away.
Continue reading.
So one must be intelligent enough to understand the purpose of the Vedas without being attached to the rituals only, and must not desire to be evaluated to the elevated to the heavenly kingdoms or a better quality of sense gratification. It is not possible for the common man in this age to follow all the rules and regulations of the Vedic rituals, nor is it possible to study all of the Vedanta and the Upanishads thoroughly. It requires much time, energy, knowledge, and resources to execute the purposes of the Vedas. This is hardly possible in this age. The best purpose of Vedic culture is served, however, by chanting the holy name of the Lord. As recommended by Lord Chaitanya, the deliverer of all fallen souls. When Lord Chaitanya was asked by a great Vedic scholar, Prakashananda Saraswati, why he, the Lord, was chanting the holy name of the Lord like a sentimentalist instead of studying Vedanta philosophy. The Lord replied that his spiritual master had found him to be a great fool and thus asked him to chant the holy name of Lord Krishna. He did so and became ecstatic like a madman. In this age of Kali, most of the population is foolish and not adequately educated to understand Vedanta philosophy. The best purpose of Vedanta philosophy is served by inoffensively chanting the holy name of the Lord Vedanta is of the Lord. Vedanta is the last word in Vedic wisdom, and the author and knower of the Vedanta philosophy is Lord Krishna. And the highest Vedantist is the great soul who takes pleasure in chanting the holy name of the Lord. That is the ultimate purpose of all Vedic mysticism.
Right. The highest Vedantist is the great soul who takes pleasure in chanting the holy name of the Lord. That is the ultimate purpose of all Vedic mysticism. Okay? So therefore, this is like we got the cream of all creams. We got the ultimate, right? So what's it called? Sarva Nigama Valli. Sarva Nigama Valli means the fruit of the tree of the Vedas is the holy name, and this is available to everyone. There is no restrictions. To study Vedas, there is restrictions. Only the Dvijas can study. But chanting the holy name is for everyone. It's for everyone. Same, hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, studying Srimad Bhagavatam is for everyone. And this is the whole purpose of all the Vedas anyway, to bring us to the point of chanting the holy names of the Lord, to bring us to the point of surrendering to Krishna, right? So anyone who has taste in chanting the holy names of the Lord, then he's the best Vedantist. He has understood all the Vedas, he's learned everything, he's completed everything. That's the point. So in Srila Prabhupada's Leelamrita, again, I'm not going to read, but we started reading the 7 purposes of ISKCON. Anyone remembers the first purpose? We read 2 so far. Anyone remembers the first purpose? No? To systematically propagate, to educate society at large in the techniques of devotional service, right? Why? For the sake of bringing a change in the misplaced values in society. And the second purpose is what? To propagate the message of Bhagavad Gita, to propagate devotional service as it is explained in Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. Let me see. I just paraphrased it. It's not word to word. Yeah, Srila Prabhupada Lilamrita. And we'll read the third one today. Second one. To propagate a consciousness of Krishna as it is revealed in Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. Okay. Second one is to propagate a consciousness of Krishna as revealed in Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. What was the first one? To systematically propagate spiritual knowledge to society at large, to educate all people in the techniques of spiritual life in order to check the imbalance of values in life and to achieve, also last part, to achieve real unity and peace in the world. First one is important. So today's the third purpose of ISKCON, to bring the members of the society together with each other and nearer to Krishna. Okay? To bring the members of society together with each other and nearer to Krishna, the prime entity, thus to develop the idea within the members and humanity. So within the members of ISKCON, the devotee community, also humanity at large, the bigger society outside. This ISKCON is not meant only for the devotee community. Devotee community is there, but this is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's plan is for everyone, for the whole society at large. So to bring the members of society together with each other and nearer to Krishna, the prime entity, thus to develop the idea within the members and humanity at large that each soul is part and parcel of the quality of Godhead. So this knowledge should be given, this idea should be awakened in the devotees as well as the humanity at large, that everyone is a part and parcel of Krishna. So what is the third one? Highlight of the third purpose? To bring the members together to each other and also bring them nearer to Krishna. Okay? Bring all the members together. Like here, we are gathering together, coming together, right? We could be sitting and chanting our rounds and reading Bhagavad Gita alone, but we come together to discuss Krishna, right? Or to chant together. To bring the members together, and also in this way, why do we come together? To discuss some current affairs and politics or something? No. Come together and in this way come nearer to Krishna. So we discuss Krishna Katha, right? And in this way, you have to bring this idea both in the members as well as the bigger human society, and you have to awaken this awareness that we are all actually parts and parcels of Krishna. That means we are all one family, everyone, every living entity, we are all parts and parcels of Krishna. So that is the third purpose. So you can meditate on that, chew on that until we read the next one. So totally there are 7 purposes. Thank you so much. All of you have a wonderful day in Krishna consciousness. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, समवेत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय. हरे कृष्ण.